tuning in to the online broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Woohoo!
Hello.
Hello. Welcome to our A to Z after show. This is episode 5. I can't believe it. We're already to episode 5, but E is for Ectoplasm, sticking with the alphabetical theme here. And I'm Stephanie Wenger.
Hi, I'm Kylie Hodges.
So it's nice to be back with you guys and talking about this
to be back,
show.
yeah.
It's a fun one. Halloween episode, of course, tonight, which is appropriate, seeing the holidays tomorrow.
And this week I got to watch the entire episode because last week breaking news ruined it for me.
I heard, and that is upsetting, and I had to fill you in on all the little details, but it's exciting to, get the full episode.
Yeah, we finally,
at the very least.
I got a little resolution this week, which is good to know.
I mean, what did you think tonight? Was this one of your favorites?
We were discussing this before we started, and this episode wasn't my favorite. However, I think the show is getting better with every episode. I think the characters, the main characters are a little cliche, but I've sort of fallen for them. I think they're cute, and I really enjoy the humor in the show.
You know what's funny is that there's something that makes me want to tune in every week, and it has that romantic comedy feel to it where it is a very good feel-good half hour.
Yeah.
There is, I feel like, things that I want from the show. I want deeper character development, and to kind of see, we saw tonight them try to have an emotional moment kind of with their friends that, it all worked out. And I feel like there's not a depth there yet, for whatever reason. I hate to bring up How I Met Your Mother again, but that How I Met Your Mother, there's these moments where it would be all this comedy, and then they could bring it to a serious moment, and they, for some reason, haven't gotten me to believe they're serious moments yet.
It's almost like, I'm going to compare it to How I Met Your Mother because I feel like that's appropriate, and I would think that people watching who like this show are probably previous fans of How I Met Your Mother, so it's only appropriate to compare.
Yeah.
But I feel like How I Met Your Mother was a little more on the goofy side and also a little more on the heartfelt side, and I think this show hasn't found its place in that yet, and it's kind of just in the middle on both spectrums.
Absolutely.
It's not really nearly as goofy or nearly as heartfelt yet. It's still kind of trying to find its place.
I feel like we don't have, I know Stu has some really great one-liners, and I wrote some down. Later on we'll be talking about it, but I feel like Neil Patrick Harris or Barney, it was like a standout character from episode 1. We knew who that guy was, and Stu, I'm still kind of confused. Is he going after Steffi? What's his end goal here? Where for a long time Barney's end goal was to get the girl, and then it ultimately became to get Robin. Yes.
Yep. Well, with this episode, it's all about Halloween, like you mentioned earlier, and Andrew and Zelda are celebrating their 1-month anniversary, which is kind of silly. Totally reminded me of high school, which Stu referenced later in the episode.
Absolutely. I kind of thought back, and I was like, I haven't celebrated a 1-month anniversary. Yeah.
Because I feel like a month flies by. When you get older, it's like, oh my God, it's been a month. I thought, a month ago I was at this place. I thought that was yesterday. Things just go so much faster.
And I also feel like as we get older, a lot of people don't have those, exact moment they started dating. They know it was, in this, month or whatever, but it's not, a specific day we decided this. I don't know. A lot of my friends, that kind of happens. And
that's very, middle school.
Yeah. Whereas now it definitely feels like they're like, we started dating on this day, and it's very serious. But I feel like that's kind of Andrew in a lot of ways. It's so meaningful to him, and he's known from the beginning, and they referenced it at the beginning of the episode, that this relationship is so different.
Yeah, today should have been, like, the title should have been something about different, but that starts with a D, not an E.
I know, they needed to switch it up last week's episode, but
I thought that was cute, though. And then at the end, how Stu and Steffi said the same thing. They said, it just, with you two, it feels different. I thought that was kind of cute, because it's like, not only do Andrew and Zelda feel like their relationship is different, and by different, I assume is a good thing, like something deeper, but other people can acknowledge it, too. So it's not, they're not crazy.
I feel like I have friends, though, that you do go out with a couple who's been together a couple weeks, a month, and it does feel... you can tell sometimes if a relationship is going to last, and I hope in Andrew and Zelda's case it lasts.
Yeah,
like, that's what my hope is for this 8-month what have you relationship.
Yeah. Well, and they are planning a party together after only 1 month, and that's huge because my boyfriend and I we don't plan parties together, actually. I do all the work. But I can't imagine after seeing somebody for a month being like, you and we're going to plan a party together.
Yeah, I
mean,
that's
a big thing.
It's a big debate. I feel like even for couples to decide that they're doing a couple's costume, not even planning a party, but just like, oh, we're going together. We're doing a couple's costume.
Yeah.
So taking it to the next level to a party. And I love the fact that they kind of were trying to create their own tradition, even though it was sad to see them, break those old traditions with their friends. Because I think we all have those things that you fall back on. And their friends were not letting them forget it.
No, and that actually bothered me. I like the Stu and Steffi storylines throughout the show, but this one bothered me only because it was a little unrealistic. I feel like they really beat to death the fact that the best friends were no longer the only important person in their lives, and also that they never really got any resolution with it. It literally just ended with Stu and Stephanie being like, well, you two are different.
Yeah.
And then it made Andrew and Zelda smile, but Stu and Steffi looked defeated. And then next thing you know, they're at a diner.
Yeah.
So I'm a little confused there.
That was so strange to me that the resolution to all of this was we're going to go sit in our original costumes in a diner and sit next to our original best friends and not let the couple sit next to each other.
Yeah.
It just felt like, well, what you guys are acknowledging that they're different, quote unquote, but there's not really that next step of letting them, continue their relation. Like, obviously they're continuing their relationship, but letting them evolve in any real way.
Yeah. Well, and we just want to let you guys know that we do really like the show, and that's why we're hard on it. And also, because it's the first season, there's so much you have to take so quickly that it is hard to completely get on board 100%. So even though I'm not going to say this episode was my favorite, I'm still really on board with the show. And I just have higher expectations.
I think that's exactly what when I say I want the characters to get deeper, it's not that I expect that in the pilot episode. It's that by the end of season 1 into season 2, that's where I'd like to see it go. And it's hard to compare it. Admittedly, I know we've had comments about this, how I Met Your Mother was, 9 seasons into this. And so it's hard to compare these two shows because you fall in love for 9 years. But what I want is for these creators to work to get there.
Yeah,
to have,
a little more building.
Yeah, exactly. And I hope that by season 3, we're as invested as ever.
Yeah.
I think of the show as being like Friends or some of those great comedies that we've had in the past, and I just want them to get there. I don't want it to be cut short.
Totally. One thing I really liked about this episode in particular, but the show in general, I really like the relationship with the 2 IT people. I'm totally blanking on their names right now. But they were dressed as Magnum PI, and then, what was the woman dressed as?
She was... It'll come to me. Let's continue on.
Anyways, their storyline was funny. I like that they're always attached at the hip. I really liked that he truly thought he was Magnum PI.
Yeah.
At the party. And then Howard and Big Bird, I mean, their relationship is so odd. And
it makes me uncomfortable to watch it.
And they're doing it right.
Yeah.
Because they want that.
They want that. And I can't figure out, talking about those one-dimensional characters again, Big Bird seems to me to be the stereotype of stereotypes.
Yeah.
And I mean, she's hilarious and so many, I mean, great job to the actress, but I want something deeper there. What has caused her to act this way?
Yeah.
She's so awful and so mean to everyone. And even tonight, to make Zelda and Andrew fake being a couple that met on Wallflower and how long they'd been together, who would ask someone, what boss asked someone to do that? That's crazy.
Yep. That is crazy. However, I picture Big Bird, this probably is cliche, but I picture her being like bitter and divorced and having some crazy backstory that inspired her to create this online or this dating app.
I agree with you. There is something I feel like awful in her past to make her this way, whether that's, somebody left her on a blind date. I feel like with her it could be something so small that like most people would move on from, and it like inspired her to change her whole life.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that is, but I hope we get there. With Barney, we saw on How I Met Your Mother that he, like, his whole backstory of why as a kid he was this way, and like his mother's relationship with his mother and all of that.
Yeah.
So I hope we get that a little bit more. Again, I think there's so many layers to peel back in this show. And again, we're in episode 5. Like, I can't expect them to give me everything that I want at this point, but I do want that coming down the line. And their one-liners are pretty amazing on the show.
Yeah, there's a lot of good one-liners. Do you think Howard is attracted to Big Bird in like a weird...
I think he might be attracted to power. That's what I kept thinking about tonight.
Okay.
He's not so much attracted to the girl, but attracted to
the position.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
What about you?
I can't figure it out because I sort of actually, when I saw the pilot, I assumed he was gay. And then throughout the show, I'm like, oh, there's been no indication of that. So then I was like, well, maybe he's not a character that is ever going to have a love story or any sexuality in particular. But I don't know, something popped in my head today where I was like, I wonder if he's really into Big Bird and that's why he's always like trailing her.
Well, I can't decide or he wants something else from her. Does he want a promotion, or there's some reason he's around her, and I'm not sure it's like if it's an attraction or if it's something he can gain from her.
Yeah.
And maybe that's how her story comes about, is that we see him do something not so nice to her and see that what has caused her to kind of be this way is that we'll get another layer of her.
That's a good prediction.
Maybe. I don't know.
Do you want to share news and gossip?
Yeah, I think that might be fun. Let's do some news and gossip.
AfterBuzz TV News.
This is just like a fun news story from EW. They had a story with Ben Feldman talking about that there's a lot of 80s references in the show, and how, like tonight we had Ghostbusters, and we had
Laverne and Shirley.
Yeah, Laverne and Shirley, and Ray Parker's, I believe it is.
Ray Parker Jr., I think.
Yeah, he was on the show for a brief minute, and Ben Feldman talks about that this is such a fun show to be a part of because he and the creator are about the same age, so it's really a blast from the past all the time, because throughout the season you'll be seeing all of these 80s references. Tonight's kind of one of the first times we're getting a big taste of it, but I guess it continues on. He says, I got to wear the cool Ghostbusters outfits. They dressed up as Laverne and Shirley, so it was a whole lot of fun. And I'm roughly the same age as our creator. It's just got a lot of callbacks to our youth, and it happens about one per episode now. So
that's fun.
Yeah, I mean, something to kind of check out. I always think it's fun to, like, reference back, and hopefully what we'll start to get, and someone else was commenting on this on Twitter, is that the show will start having a little bit where we'll see more flash forwards and flashbacks throughout every episode. Right now we're kind of, I feel like for the most part, staying in a certain time frame.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we'll see little 80s Easter eggs sprinkled throughout the season.
I hope so too. Yeah.
Can we make some predictions now?
I feel like predictions are a good call.
It's appropriate. Let's do it.
Do you have a good one to start?
I actually am really stumped. I was hoping you.
Okay, I can go for it. So I think Zelda and Andrew, they're kind of in that very beginning of the relationship. Like
Honeymooner phase.
Honeymooner phase, exactly. And everything seems, for lack of a better description, I know it's not perfect, but pretty perfect. I think we're now in episode 5. We're probably going to get a stumble. I don't think a breakup, but some sort of stumble in their relationship. And I don't think tonight's storyline with the friends was really that. It was kind of a weird one-off, trying to do something also Halloween related, but I think true something between them will come up that causes them to stumble a bit.
You know, I think I said this last week, but I think that Stu and Steffi are going to have some, like, weird rekindling of a hookup.
Ooh, I like that. That would be really fun. And but do you think they'll last?
No, I think it'll be like they get drunk.
Yeah, maybe at one of these parties that they're trying to plan together.
Maybe they actually plan a party.
Yeah, maybe they're all together. Yeah, I can see that, totally. And I wonder if the show's going to go on and do the, like, Christmas episode to the Super Bowl episode to the, I don't know. I'm interested
Thanksgiving. A lot of opportunities.
I know. Valentine's Day. I feel like this show is so game for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, Sweetest Day, although that just passed, but, you know.
Yeah.
Who's counting?
Right. So, well, I guess with that, happy Halloween, everybody.
Yeah, happy Halloween.
Yeah.
Eat a lot of candy.
Yes, and come back next week and hang out with us again for A to Z.
Thanks for watching. Wait, where can people follow you?
I was just about to say, you can find me on Twitter at Stephanie Wenger, and you can find AfterBuzz at AfterBuzz TV.
Yeah, follow me on Twitter and Instagram at the Kylie Hodges.
See you next week.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.